Welcome to Chickadee Acres. We're in the greenhouse today. It's probably about 15 degrees Celsius in here, which is, in the mid 50s to 60. I wanted to share with you some seeds I bought for another project I'm working on. It's going to be a dyer's garden. As soon as I found out that most of these plants are perennials and they survive in our zone 5, I had to jump on that and try and do a dyer's garden. So of course, for those that aren't aware, a dyer's garden would be plants that you can use to dye fabrics, silks, like natural fabrics like silks, cottons, and wool. So you can dye yarn with it as well. And so what I got was pretty much the rainbow. I got wild indigo and woad, which are for blue. Woad, however, is a biennial, which means I'd have to plant seeds every 2 years or every year. And for red, I got madder. And for orange and yellow, elecampane. And dyer's broom also for yellow. So I'm hoping that the other one is more of an orangey yellow. So that's pretty much the basic primary colors to make all your colors. And I also got borage for 2 reasons. One, I used to have it when I kept bees, and pardon the noise. And it's good for the pollinators, of course. But it's used as a mordant, and a mordant comes from the French word to bite. It basically fixes the dye onto the fabric permanently so that it doesn't come out after you wash it. So that's my new project that I'll be starting this summer, and they're probably going to go with all the peaches and cherries as an underplanting. So as long as they get lots of sun, they'll be happy. And I'll be raising the soil level so they're not going to be sitting in water. The other thing I wanted to share with you today, before we go into my actual job today, hubby, bless his heart, printed me out a seed sifter. All the different sizes, from big enough to pass lupin seeds all the way down to poppy seeds. So this is going to be just great for the harvesting of seeds. And that was 3D printed for any of those that are interested. And yeah, that's going to be a fun thing this summer to try out. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is trying this new snail method. A lot of my planters, the cell packs, are getting cracked and that, and I usually go to the garden centers and pick up the used ones there because they're recycling them. But space is always tight, and I want to try it because when I do stuff in the greenhouse, I have to come out here every day and make sure that things are watered, and I can't always get to the greenhouse, especially if we get a dumping of snow. I mean, it's not over yet. So I want to set them into a container that can hold water so that the water will get sucked up and keep the seeds moist. So this is pretty much an experiment because I still have plenty of seeds over here. I don't know if I'll show you here what I've got over here on my seed tray. All this stuff here. So plenty, we're not running out. Now, it is kind of early, we're mid-February, and it's getting close to the time to plant cold weather crops like the brassica family mainly. And so that's, your kales, your cabbages, your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli. And onions I've already got started in the house because they have to start in January apparently. And I've never had much luck with onions, but we'll see what happens this year. So the fellow I watched said the bubble plastic is probably the best because it's also insulating. And that makes sense to me. And excuse me while I get my seeds. I bought one of those dollar store garden seed containers, but they're not big enough to carry what I need, so this is just my cold veggies. All the cold weather crops are in here. So in the spring, I know I could start looking in here, and maybe sometime in March, I'll be looking at the hot veggies for planting the tomatoes and the peppers. Not peppers because I keep them in the house. So today, we are going to be planting my favorite. Actually, I'm going to try kale. And where the heck is it? Because my broccoli isn't doing very well in the house either. Oh, and this is something new. It's that weird looking broccoli. Does it have a name? Romanesco. So yeah, that would be fun to try. And radishes. Why did I get radishes? Somebody was getting rid of a bunch of seeds that they were going to be thrown out, and so that's going to be another challenge, is what their viability is of the seeds. But I have a feeling the kale is going to be quite happy, and what the heck, the broccoli should do it too. So the first thing we need to do is get some dirt. I keep my potting soil in a like countersunk container. I can't show it to you because the camera is fixed right now. I'm just going to get me some dirt. I just have good old standard potting mix with a little bit of vermiculite. And so I'm just going to start spreading this down here because that's what they said to do. You basically just need plastic and tape. So I got my masking tape. So I gotta just kind of spread it all out here. I probably should have moistened this, but I do have my spray bottle which needs refilling. I have to empty this every winter because I broke my last spray bottle because I didn't. It froze. Excuse me while I get some water. I have a barrel in here that, I should probably put more than that. I have a barrel in here that I collect rainwater from outside, and it's been shifted into the interior. And I've got a garden hose hooked up to it, and it's great for filling up all the containers for water and watering the beds. Can you tell I've been prepared for this? No. Uh-oh. Come on, baby. You can do it. Oh, what is that? Okay, there she goes. She's working. And that pressure just went away. It's probably a lot easier, and you can probably watch some other video of people doing this. This is horrible. Okay, we have a problem here, folks. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, this isn't a good, boy, that water's cold too. Hi, socks. Cats are out here too. They followed me all the way. They had to follow my footprints though because it's quite deep. Okay, this. Oh yes, this is such a big mess. Yeah, pre-wet your soil first. On the floor. How am I going to do this? There. Okay, we've got... So it's just going to be a bigger mess to clean, right? All right, we've got some damp soil now. I'm going to start... This is going to be the big end. And I don't even know if I need this much... This much... Move your butt. Pardon me while I get some more water. Just pour it into my potting soil container and get me some wet stuff. There we go. It's like mixing dough. Problem is the dough's not very sticky. All right, now, sorry for the wait. We are done. Maybe I'll shorten it, hey? So, now this is going to be for the broccoli. Start. I don't want it too thick. And that's probably a little too far down there. Flat part. Okay, first try. We'll see how it goes. All right, we start with this fat piece here, right? And we're just gonna roll it like a sushi, as they say. I was thinking more like Yule logs. That's a lot more tasty. And so now the dirt's kind of coming out. I'm just gonna turn around so you can see what's happening. The dirt kind of pushes itself off. So once it does that, I don't know how the guy did it on the other channel. I think he prepared. All right, tape. Okay, so we're doing the tape here. I'm gonna put two pieces across there because mine's skinnier than his was. Ooh, and I'm also seeing that we're gonna run into a situation here. Okay, so here's another thing. If you're gonna tape it, you gotta tape it all the way around because it's wet, nothing sticks. Elastics would be good too, wouldn't it? And you'd be able to reuse them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one of these. Tape it to itself. That way it'll stay stuck. And same for the bottom. Now one side is going to be looking better than the other. The side that's got all the dirt close to the top. This is horrific. Elastics. I think elastics would work much better. Definitely. So, she's taped. Now I need a container to put it in. You know what would be good? Soup cans. I got a lot of those. They don't recycle. Do I have any soup cans here? No, I don't have anything here. I need a container. All right, there's a container. This is temporary because I haven't set it up completely. But I'll put that in there. This has a hole in it. A lot of good that is. I just don't want it to unroll. I'm going to do another one. That's too skinny. So the guy also said, you want something like 6 inches for the really long roots, things with tap roots that, you know, don't like to be transferred and things like that. And the shorter ones for the, you know, lettuce, the short little bushy roots. So I'm going to try and do the kale on the short one, I think. So now I guess what you do is you pop your seeds in. There's an awful lot of them in here. Who's calling? Hi, we're here. Yeah, and I know it's cold out, but it's not that cold. So I'm just gonna put them in there. And get them at least an inch apart. I don't know what I'm doing, really. All these newfangled ways of doing things, and sometimes the tried and true methods work just as well. Matter of fact, I was watching another YouTube channel where they were trying to grow carrots in all kinds of different ways, and it turned out that just sowing them in a straight little row works just fine. And mind you, I have tried the covering it with plastic or cardboard or something, and it worked quite well. They sprout faster. Okay, so there. All my fun, fancy broccoli is in. And I have a little skewer here that I like to use to just kind of use the flat end and just push them in. Yes, are you coming to see what I'm doing? Yeah. This is Socks. Socks is my aggressive little cat that we rescued from the ditch and figured he'd be happier in a farm. Well, we're not a farm, so and we don't have cows or a barn that would be very warm for them, so put him in the house. That's all he's got to say about that. All right, broccoli's done. And then this is a kale. Oh, there's a puddle of water there, huh? Lots of kale too, so just gotta find my little snaily thingies here and make sure I don't plant them all around. We're gonna have a lot of kale. And I gotta let this dry because it's gonna sprout before we will know it. So I'm just dumping them, pushing them into the little snaily paths. And we'll see what we get. I thought they planted the seeds in while it was lying sideways, but that could be very tricky. So I'm guessing that they've tried that and it didn't work. I don't know where I got the idea that they planted the seeds in there. That would be pretty cool though if you could. With this, oh, this is brilliant. I cut them so that I can make, covers, but if you cut a little slit, I'm just gonna cut. Do I have a knife, scissors, something sharp? No, but maybe this will work. Do I not have scissors? Yes, I do. Hang on, I have scissors. Just gonna cut a little slit in this plastic so that it does. There. I have a cut. Now it's just gonna kind of overlap. I hope that's enough water. Let's make sure. And then put this in. I'm going to put it over. Maybe I gotta put a slit in both sides. Or maybe my slit's not long enough. We'll do both. There's my slit. Like that. Let's do a cut like that. Now guys, you should be able to fit inside. There. So now she's covered. I would want a screw cap on this though, just until the weather warms up, but I think this isn't bad. Now, I'm going to put them in my mini greenhouse. I'll just show you my mini greenhouse. See, there's my mini greenhouse. And I'm just going to put them up here, in here, and I'm going to zip her up. It gets very warm in there. So, here's the second one done. And I like this pop bottle idea. I think I might start saving them. We don't drink a lot of pop, too, for the whole winter. And put this in the greenhouse and see what happens. Have a great day. So, this is the second one done. I filled it with water. I put the lid on. I'm going to put this one in the mini greenhouse.